talking of difficult work is coaching your child. Now, I have 2 children. One's called Leo, one's called Alice, 6 and 5. Leo's playing football. Alice is starting to play a bit of football as well, but she prefers her kung fu. But Leo is big into the football. He's trying his hardest. Coaching your child, it's a difficult thing, Pards.
It is a difficult thing, and I was thinking about it because I heard Stuart Broad on the radio the other day talking about his mother, who took him to most of his training camps when he was young, coming through because his dad was away playing cricket, obviously. His father was a professional. And the one thing he said about her was whenever he got in the car, where it was win, lose or draw, she just said, "Oh, did you enjoy your day? Did you enjoy it?" And I think that is a big part of what your process of talking to your child should be about. The enjoyment first. Did you, how did it go? Did you enjoy it? I think that's always a nice place to start.
It's an interesting point that you bring up because, of course, we're all competitive by nature. And when you want your child to do well, you can criticise and say, you do better here, you could do better there. Yeah. I'm guilty of it myself. I'll go watch my son.
I'll put some points together, right? This is for the parents. So the parents got a pen, right? There's some good stuff here in terms of...
Grab the pen, guys. Come on, listen. This is a Premier League manager giving you advice right now. So I'm being serious. Take it in. We look, coach here for one of the Brackley Town ladies teams, and both teams, ladies and Saints, won 5-2 and 6-2 respectively. We've got the coaches listening right now. So have a listen. Alan Pardew's going to instill some...
Yeah, because I put some things down about when a child or a player plays, the way you talk to him is very, very important. So I've got these points. Number 1, find a positive straight away, okay? That is always a good place to start with the child or the young player, being a boy or girl. Find a positive straight away. Oh, you did something, whatever. And then, number 2, ask questions on their thoughts and reflections of the game. Because it's important that they give you their feedback, because you've got to give them feedback soon. So you need to sort of judge and gauge where they are. So give your overview. Number 3, give your overview of the game. Once you've sensed their frustrations or pleasures in their performance, boys and girls, and you'll know this because you're a parent, they want to talk. They want to, they want to express them. You need to encourage them to do that. And number 4 and 5 is a maybe section, right? Because this is just terminology. So I've got as number 4, do not judge or be overcritical of the coach or the referee, right, in the game. Usually the child will come in and say, oh, the manager didn't play me, or the referee was rubbish, blah, blah, blah. You could always, whatever you say critical about them, always use a maybe in there. Maybe she could have done better. Maybe the ref could have done better. Maybe the manager could have put you on earlier. So you're not directly criticising the coach of the boys' team or the referee. It's always a nice word to use. And you can always lead it into number 5, right? When you're lending a sympathetic ear to his shortcomings or failures, if you want to add advice, so if you're saying to your boy Madge, you can always start with maybe. Maybe you should do it a little bit more like this. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe you should have won that header. I fancied you to win that. It's it's more of a kind of psychological tool to sort of be nice in a way of delivering a criticism. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Do you find that parents in this generation now are very much more fully involved in the footballing process, even to the point of, we've seen it this week on talkSPORT. Simon Jordan talked about Aaron Ramsdale's dad, and Aaron Ramsdale's dad's come out and was talking about his place and stuff like that. It seems to be a real generational thing where the parents are even more involved in investing. When I was growing up and playing in the parks and, playing for my local club, Norseman, etc., there's so many kids one-on-one sessions, and there's 5 sessions in a week. Like, my son plays 3 times in a week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, the explosion of football, is it the product of the Premier League? And perhaps people are thinking, my son or daughter could make it?
No, I think social media has added to that pressure, and WhatsApp groups, and people talking about the game to each other, parents, and sort of coming to a conclusion or whatever. But I think the most important thing, in all of this, is that you don't dampen a child or a footballer's enthusiasm. That's so important.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That is your grassroots of any sport, right? Keeping that enthusiasm in the child. You don't want that child not to want to go back next week.
No.
Or go training in that horrible weather. I've got, and then the last few I've got are quite obvious ones, but find positives in their performance, and use expressive terms, for example, if you remember your son or your daughter making a great tackle, what about that amazing tackle you made? You know, it's like a nice to sort of put those expressive words in where they can kind of grasp it. Oh, my dad said it was amazing. And then the last 4, I've got praise another player as an example. I'm sure you've done that. So another player in the team, he did brilliant today. You know, and that's nice. It's always nice. I think when I was a player, when my dad or my coach would talk about another player, say, he did, and you go, yeah. It was nice. It's an affirmation that he done well, and hopefully it'll be me next week. Emphasise the team ethic. That's number 8. And then I've got the Gareth Southgate tip, number 9.
Okay, interesting. What's the Gareth Southgate tip?
You need to practice, eat and drink well for the next game. And interesting, Trippier's was put up by the FA this week as like the spokesman for the England party, you know. And he was talking about how he feels so much better now. Now he's more educated about his recovery, how he's drinking better, how he's eating better. And he's 34. So if you start that process when you're younger...
Tripp's 34. I didn't even
I think he was 34. Or was he 31? I might have got that age wrong. But a really interesting point, I thought. And then number 10...
Yeah, he's 33.
This is the Premier League rule, right? Let's learn and move on, right? So if the boys had a bad day, okay, let's learn from it. Move on. Let's move on. Let's not hinder it. Let's not overjudge it. So I thought that would be nice to put them together. There's 10 points I had there. I don't know if we can put them up or something, or if you want somebody wanted to get hold of them.
Clip up.
I think it's a way of. I see so many coaches even forget about parents for a minute. I see even coaches making mistakes like being critical and putting too much pressure on children and putting too much pressure on their team actually. And then obviously that's now then enhanced by some parents who they don't want to be bad. Not trying to be negative, but they just need to word it slightly better and frame it a little bit. You know, think about how you're going to frame that criticism. It's always nice to get some positives in there.